Chanel debuted its famous wallet-on-chain in 1997, making it one of the first wallet-on-chain bags on the market. The Chanel wallet-on-chain bag fast became another one of the most iconic Chanel bags ever made, and a true classic. When making that first step into the Chanel fashion house, getting the iconic Chanel wallet-on-chain is definitely a great place to start. The Chanel wallet-on-chain bag features the same luxurious craftsmanship, standards, and attention to detail typical of Chanel bags. The Chanel wallet-on-chain also features many of the Chanel house codes, like the signature interlocking CC on the stud button closure mechanism, the signature diamond or chevron quilting pattern, the interwoven leather and metal chain strap, the Mona Lisa smile exterior back pocket, and the embroidered CC logo on the inside. The Chanel wallet-on-chain bag is definitely a statement piece, perfect for traveling light or great as an evening bag on a night out. The Chanel wallet-on-chain bag will definitely be a staple for any luxurious collection. It can be dressed up or down in a variety of ways. The beauty of the Chanel wallet-on-chain bag is in its simplicity. The Chanel wallet-on-chain bag is a compact, lightweight, and effortlessly stylish bag. Chic and more affordable in Chanel handbag offerings. You are still getting the same classic and elegant Chanel aesthetic without sacrificing style. The Chanel camera bag is just as iconic as the Chanel bag. And like all Chanel bags, it comes with a rich history and heritage, and is also made with the premium craftsmanship that Chanel is known for. The Chanel camera bag first appeared in the 1980s, a collection inspired by the cases of photographers and reporters. The first Chanel camera bag is said to have been introduced by Gabrielle Coco Chanel herself, and featured all the signature Chanel house codes, including the diamond quilting leather stitch pattern, inspired by her love for the equestrian world, the interlocking leather and chain shoulder strap, and the signature Chanel CC interlocking logo clasp. The Chanel camera bags are well renowned and are a rarity, as they are generally very hard to come by and made in limited quantities, giving you that typical air of Chanel exclusivity. The Chanel camera bag is amongst the most elusive Chanel bags ever designed. The Chanel camera bag is a perfect option for daily daytime use and is a gorgeous and classy piece for casual evening events. The Chanel camera bag is a good and relatively affordable option when delving into the Chanel fashion house. The Chanel camera bag is definitely worth the investment and is a lovely unicorn bag to add to your luxury wardrobe, a modern, classy, practical, timeless and functional camera bag. The Chanel 22 bag began a new chapter in the handbag history of the Chanel fashion house. The Chanel 22 bag was debuted in Chanel's Spring-Summer 2022 ready-to-wear show under creative director Virginie Veillard. The number 22 actually has special significance within the Chanel lexicon and within Coco Chanel's love for numerology. For one, it is now the name of one of Chanel's bags, referring to the year of its creation, with the Chanel 22 being released in 2022, just like the Chanel 19 was released in 2019. The number 22 and the Chanel 22 bag also pays homage to Chanel's number 22 perfume, which was launched in 1922 and celebrated 100 years last year, and also happens to be Chanel's second most popular perfume after its iconic Chanel No. 5. The Chanel 22 bag is totally different from the classic Chanel bag designs, which usually have more clean lines and more feminine appeal. The Chanel 22 bag has a younger, fresher, and more casual appeal than the more modern, traditional Chanel bags. The Chanel 22 bag is a striking yet playful tote bag, an offering from Chanel focusing on the needs of the modern working woman. A casual, toss everything in bag and throw it over your shoulder bag and go. The Chanel 22 bag effortlessly showcases Virginie Veillard's savoir-faire, combining simplicity and comfort in the most functional way, but grounded by a distinctively cool and casual mode of elegance. The Chanel 22 bag is an ideal everyday, versatile and carefree bag, combining simplicity and comfort with classic and modern. The Chanel 22 bag can be dressed up or down, matching any casual ensemble for the everyday and easy, smooth lifestyle on the go. Like most Chanel bags, the Chanel DeVille tote bag makes a statement. A sporty, chic, modern beach-style bag. The Chanel DeVille tote bag is a classic and timeless tote. The Chanel DeVille tote bag is named after the seaside resort in Normandy, Deauville, which was a great source of inspiration for Gabrielle Coco Chanel. So it is only right the House of Chanel would pay homage to the lavish spot with an iconic modern bag. The Chanel DeVille tote bag also pays homage to the iconic Paris address of the famous store, 31 Rue Cambon, Paris, where Gabrielle Coco Chanel set up her first boutique and the apartment she lived in. The Chanel DeVille tote bag, like many Chanel bags, encapsulates many signature Chanel hallmarks, such as the interwoven chain and leather shoulder straps and the signature Chanel CC interlocking logo. The Chanel DeVille tote bag is one of the most capacious Chanel bags, with plenty of space for all your essentials. The Chanel DeVille tote bag is practical as it is chic, with a more relaxed appearance than your typical Chanel styles. The Chanel DeVille tote bag is ideal for all occasions, from holidays, trips to the beach and general errands, and is also perfect for those who need to carry a lot with them on a daily basis. The Chanel Coco Handle bag was named after Gabrielle Coco Chanel, and the Chanel Coco Handle bag was first released in Chanel's Fall/Winter 2015 collection. The Chanel Coco Handle bag was originally released as a seasonal bag that turned into an it bag and then fast became a staple, classic Chanel bag. The Chanel Coco Handle bag is another bag said to be a cross between the Chanel Classic flat bag and the Hermes Kelly, and is also sometimes referred to as the flat bag with handle. The Chanel Coco Handle bag has a somewhat trapezoidal structured silhouette and also imbues many Chanel house codes. The Chanel Coco Handle bag has been such a success and has now become an icon in its own right that is now offered every season. The Chanel Coco Handle bag is a perfect transitional bag from day to evening, a practical, functional, fashion-forward bag that will complement any wardrobe. The Chanel Coco Handle bag exudes femininity and timeless elegance, fusing tradition with modern edge. The Chanel Coco Handle bag is a beautiful piece that will never go out of style, and no luxury Chanel handbag collection is complete without it. In March of 2019, Chanel debuted the final collection under the creative direction of the late Karl Lagerfeld, shortly before his death. Karl Lagerfeld being Chanel's in-house creative director for over 30 years. It was then that the Chanel 19 bag made its runway debut as the last ever bag designed by Karl Lagerfeld. The Chanel 19 bag was designed by Karl Lagerfeld alongside Virginie Veillard. The Chanel 19 bag is a practical everyday bag companion, imbued with elegance and sophistication. The Chanel 19 bag can be dressed up or down, with any casual or formal ensemble, classic or trendy. The Chanel 19 bag is a true embodiment of Chanel's past, present and future, as the perfect combination of traditional Chanel hallmarks and modern 21st century elements. Launched in Chanel's Spring 2014 collection, the Chanel Trendy CC handbag is another one of Chanel's most desired bags. When initially released, the Chanel Trendy CC bag was considered a professional woman's alternative to the classic flap. Stylish yet functional. The bag was an instant hit with the shape and silhouette of the Chanel Trendy CC bag said to be reminiscent of the Hermes Kelly bag. However, it is the Chanel Trendy CC's distinctive feature that distinguishes it from other Chanel classic bags. The Chanel Trendy CC bag is adorned with an instantly recognizable metal bar plate hardware under the handle, with the Chanel logo script boldly emblazoned across the bar plate. A true twist on the signature Chanel bag designs, especially for those looking for a different take. The Chanel Trendy CC bag is a functional, practical, easy-to-use bag as an everyday companion. And today, the Chanel Trendy CC bag has achieved cult status and progressively earned its right as one of Chanel's must-have coveted classic bags, cementing its place in the archive of iconic Chanel bags. The Chanel Trendy CC bag can be dressed up or down, but most importantly, it can be matched to any ensemble and will be a luxurious bag to consider for your wardrobe. The Chanel Boy bag was first introduced in Chanel's Fall-Winter collection in 2011 and has fast become an iconic bag of the Chanel fashion house and a mainstay in Chanel's handbags that have been offered every season since its release. The Chanel Boy bag pays homage to the love of Gabrielle Coco Chanel's life, Arthur Boy Capel, an English polo player and aristocrat, in addition to being Coco Chanel's muse and greatest love. Arthur Boy Capel inspired Coco Chanel's tendencies to push the boundaries of feminine design and play with the masculine accents in her style, and also inspired her taste for rebellious inclinations. Many of her looks went on to become so famous and subsequently inspired Karl Lagerfeld to create the Chanel Boy bag. The Chanel Boy bag was the first complete redesign of the Chanel classic flat bag, and a bold and edgy alternative Chanel bag, more masculine and androgynous utilitarian feel than previous Chanel offerings, while still honouring many of Coco Chanel's original 255 house codes. The Boy bag introduced some more modern updates with a distinguished and unique aesthetic. The Chanel Boy bag is highly desired for its utilitarian feel and more masculine shape, bolder and edgier. The Chanel Boy bag is a versatile design, a departure from the more classic and more feminine Chanel handbag styles. Non-conformist, the Chanel Boy bag strikes the balance between fashion and function, providing practicality whilst remaining effortlessly stylish. This is what makes the Chanel Boy bag the quintessential Parisian accessory. Designed by Coco Chanel when in her 70s, the debut of the iconic Chanel 255 bag was the start of a new era for luxury handbags and a testimony to Chanel's innovative prowess. The Chanel 255 prototype was first released in 1929. Initially made from woolen fabric, a quilted jersey material, and featured a rectangular, twist-in lock with very short straps, which meant you could only carry it on the crook of your arm or as a clutch. Coco Chanel then updated and revamped the design she'd been involved in, and it wasn't until February 1955 that Coco Chanel debuted a shoulder-carried version of the bag, and the end product was called the 255, after the date and launch of the 255 bag in February 1955. The Chanel 255 bag was the first bag to transform the standard purse to the handbags we see today. The Chanel reissued 255 bag is a great everyday bag, the epitome of luxury and style, and holds the history and longevity of a true icon. No handbag at Chanel has ever had a longer history as the Chanel reissued 255 bag. The bag is not only the most iconic bag from the fashion house, but is one of the most iconic handbags in the fashion world as a pioneer. Trends come and go, but the Chanel 255 and reissued 255 bag has remained an undoubted and timeless classic. From the expert craftsmanship to the beautiful and rich history behind the bag, the Chanel Classic Flap is most definitely a classic and timeless forever bag. The story of the Chanel Classic Flap bag is rooted in the creation of the Chanel 255 bag. The original 255 bag had been redesigned multiple times over the years, but the most significant adaptation was created by the late Karl Lagerfeld in 1983. He introduced a new version of the 255 bag called the Chanel Classic Flap, also known as the 1112, the name originating from the style code given to the bag when it was first introduced. Lagerfeld made a few significant distinctive changes to the 255 bag to make the elegant and timeless classic flap. Updating and innovatively changing the classic square twisting lock of the 255 bag, known as the Mademoiselle lock, to the iconic Chanel interlocking CC lock clasp hardware. One of the main characteristic differences between the 255 and the Chanel Classic Flap. Staying true to the original, whilst showcasing its own significant, sophisticated signature flair. The Chanel Classic Flap bag is a versatile and elegant transition bag, taking you easily from any day to night event. It can be worn over the shoulder, on the arm, held in hand, or as a crossbody. The Chanel Classic Flap bag is a bag that has stood the test of time and continues to withstand the test of fashion and trends. Few bags have made a deep imprint on the luxury handbag industry as the Chanel Classic Flap bag. The Chanel Classic Flap bag is not just a fashion item, but a status symbol, distinctively classy and elegant.